There's something in the air, the dream of life in love, with minds at rest in prayer, sparking joy we're in awe. No matter where your path has been or time will somehow flies, like souls will come home again, true friendship ever thrives. Is this where the magic happens? Can you feel the hearts revealed right now in you and me? The secret is wherever we are. There's something in a smile that can turn a day around. Moments so worthwhile when we find common ground. No matter what the day might bring, right here we can align, knowing that we will be seen as perfect, whole, divine. This is where the magic happens. Let's feel all the hearts, from close to me and me to you. The secret is wherever we are. So meet me where the magic happens, healing all the hearts, ignited now in you and me. The secret is wherever, the secret is whenever, the secret is together we are.
Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Sunday online celebration. My name is Alan Stanley, and I'll be your host today and talk you through this show. So we'd like to start off by introducing our purpose, and it's awareness, radical responsibility, inside-out living. Spirit is all there is, and everyone is evolving, and that becomes arise with us. Our vision at CSL St. George is a community-focused center actively living, sharing, and nurturing its members and friends so that all may live their best lives. And we strive to do that all the time. So we welcome you to join us. We're an open and inclusive community involving spirituality that supports its purpose and vision through these actions, sacred wisdom celebrations, empowering transformative education, youth and young adult programs, dynamic music, community inreach, and of course, community outreach. And this is us outreaching to you. So we have some help behind the scenes today. It's Marina Anderson going to make everything run smooth. As I mentioned, my name is Alan Stanley, and I'll be your host and sing a couple songs for you. Our speakers today are our practitioners, and it's going to Stephanie Starrett, Sue Fullmer, and Bill Smith will be offering a nice lesson for us today. So we guys will start this out. Oh, wait a minute. Got a little behind here. Start this out with a Michael God song. You're welcome to sing along or hum along or just sit back and enjoy it. It's one of my favorites. It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by amazing grace. And all I've ever wanted, and all I've ever needed, is already there. Closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air. I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit. And it is health to my body. It is peace to my mind. It is joy. It is joy to my soul. I breathe out a simple prayer of thank you. And my breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that is singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air. I breathe in, and I'm filled with the Spirit. And it is health to my body. It is peace to my mind. It is joy. It is joy. It is joy. Joy to my soul. I breathe out a simple prayer of thank you. And my breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that is singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air. It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by amazing grace. And all I've ever wanted, and all I've ever needed, is already there. Closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air. Closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air. I'd like to bring Bill in to offer our invocation for today.
Thank you, Alan. I invite you all to join me in affirmative prayer this morning. We call the As we come together for this Sunday celebration, I know that we do so in the presence of that one true Spirit, that one power that guides and enlivens this whole universe. I know that I am one with this power, with this Spirit. And not only that, I know that I am completely made up of that Spirit. I know that to be true for myself. And as we are all one, I know that to be true for everyone within the range of my voice, whether it's right now this morning on Sunday or whether it's later. It is the truth. So I know today's service is a blessing. It's a blessing to me, and it's a blessing to all that I come in contact with. As we further explore the conundrum of loving the unlikable, I know that the talk today clarifies that. I know that the music today brings that up. And I know that as we move through this service and all that is incorporated with it, it opens me. and I welcome that, and I invite that, and I am so grateful for it all. So I just know that today's service is everything I expect it to be and more, and I just let it be so, and so it is. Back to you, Alan.
So it is.
There you are.
I'm back. Great, Bill. Thank you. You know, I've played a lot of music through the years at different spiritual centers around the country, but I'll have to say that this is the first time I've sang this song in one. So it's kind of a fun song, and it fits loving the unlikable. So I'm sure you can sing along with this one. It's by Ringo Starr. Excuse me. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. He'd let us in, know where we've been, an octopus's garden in the shade. I'd ask my friends to come and see an octopus's garden with me. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. We would be warm below the storm in our little hideaway beneath the waves, resting our heads under the seabed, garden in the cave. We would sing and dance around because we know we can't be found. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. We would shout and swim about in the coral that lies beneath the waves. Oh, what a joy for every girl and boy, knowing they're happy and they're safe. We would be so happy, you and me, no one there to tell us what to do. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden with you. In an octopus's garden with you. In an octopus's garden with you. So we're going to welcome Bill back to start off our show.
That was awesome, Alan. Thank you. Way to keep the octopus flowing through the whole service, and actually through the whole month. So it has been interesting when we start talking about loving the unlikable. And I'm sure that if you've watched the last or been with us the last 4 Sundays, you've seen the octopus on our slides and that, and which I thought was really an interesting choice for this month. But as we look at outside of the human experience or the spiritual people having a human experience, and start looking at the animal kingdom and all that's around us, there's a lot of things that I think we've ignored as humans have ignored for a long time. And as we get better scientists and more enlightened scientists, I think doors are opening and minds are being blown, in some cases are opened. I've heard that there is a grove of aspen trees in northern Utah that is considered to be the largest living organism in the world. I've also heard this about the sequoias in California, in the state of California, a particular grove of sequoias. So I'm not sure which one is king of the organism sizes, but it's just amazing to me that these trees are so interconnected under the ground that they act as one organism and they can communicate through this interconnected network. Fascinating. I've heard something recently about bees and about how they communicate to each other, and it's really important to them that they conserve their energy because they're basically their life is serving the queen and gathering honey. But they do little dances for each other that essentially communicate where the best sources of pollen or food for them are. Just amazing. And and I've been in love with humpback whales for a long time. And and when I was in Hawaii scuba diving 35 years ago, I got the opportunity to be near a pod of humpback whales, and you could hear them communicating with each other. And I just think it's amazing that 35 years later, we still don't know exactly what they're saying. But we do know, and I know that they're starting to apply some AI resources, some artificial intelligence to try to figure that out a little bit more. So fascinating stuff. And like even I was reading that there's a study of slime mold, and that these slime mold are able to problem solve and find their way through different mazes and to get to the food that they're looking for. That kind of stuff just fascinates me. Um, I've heard stories of bears stopping what they're doing to gaze at the sunset, and elephants that mourn the loss of their longtime human caretaker. Just amazing things from the animal kingdom. And I knew eventually we'd have to get to the octopus. They are an amazing species on their own, and I know that we're talking about the loving the unlikable today, and I think one of the things that makes the octopus fall in that category of the unlikable. I mean, I really like them. Okay, I think they're really cool and fascinating, but I know that ancient seafaring lore considered them sea monsters. And if you look at some of the old drawings, like in the Moby Dick era, a lot of the things that were depicted look a lot like what we now understand to be the octopus, and they would be enormous things taking down entire ships and killing the entire crew and that kind of thing. And I think that's what got them in the category of the unlikable. But I think what kind of gets them into the lovable is that they have, really come a long way. Not that octopuses have evolved that much in my lifetime, but we're starting to understand so much more about them. And I just want to share a couple odd facts about them. Octopuses have 3 hearts, and they use those hearts to pump their blood to different parts of their body. Their blood, by the way, which is blue, and it has something to do with the amount of iron that's in their blood, compared to ours. They have multiple brains, and they have 8 arms, and so each one of these arms has a smaller brain as well as the one that's in their quote unquote head that makes all these motions happen without the octopus having to devote too much of its thought process into one tentacle or another. They have no bones, but they do have a beak, which is kind of like a parrot's beak, and they use that to break open mollusks and crabs and things like that. And the fact that they have no bones is what allows them to move in and out of jars and small holes and things like that. Speaking of their tentacles, they can regrow them. So if they're in a shark comes and bites off one of their tentacles, it will regrow and it will be perfectly functional again. It's not like a useless one or anything like that. And they use tools. I've seen video of them actually using coconut husks, to make a shelter, or using them to break things open. So they use tools, which is a sign of high intelligence. They can instantly change color, which is so fascinating to watch. But they are color blind. They don't see color. Just an interesting opposition there. And not only color, but they can change texture. So if they're hiding in a rocky area, they can take on the color of those rocks as well as the texture of those rocks. And a lot of this information comes from a book from an author called Cy Montgomery, and it's called The Soul of an Octopus. And talking about soul, as humans, we used to be a pretty cool club, pretty exclusive, chosen by God as the carriers of the torch of intellect and reason. And, we were the toast of the town, the intelligent ones, the only life source gifted by God with a soul. But lately, it seems like every life form who has more than 2 cells wants to crash our party. Now we're talking about all the other organisms and souls. And, like even 5 years ago, this was almost unheard of. I remember a book that came out that said it was something around all dogs go to heaven. And there was a lot of controversy about that. And this was more than 5 years ago, probably 10 or 20. But do dogs really go to heaven? Do dogs have a soul? And I think the new research and a lot of the artificial intelligence and some of the things that we're learning about all of the animal species says that yes, they do have a soul. And I think that's the point of making these unlikable things lovable, is that all beings are manifestations of God's soul, and therefore makes them souled animals. And they all, each and every one of us as beings, whether we have 8 arms or 2 or 100 legs, we all can contribute uniquely to that interconnected tapestry of life on Earth. And, why should we stop at Earth and beyond? All right, I'm going to pass off to Sue now.
Ooh, and very interesting, Bill. Thanks.
Birthday fun? Yeah.
Yeah, good lesson there. All those unlikable things are actually beautiful souls. So how nice to be back with my practitioner buddies to speak today. I have looked at the logo for this month's theme all month. We got it from CSL, and I don't have much affinity for that octopus picture. But Bill, you have increased my appreciation for those incredibly intelligent creatures. There are documentaries on YouTube that just amaze you how they can go through a maze and squeeze their body through little tiny tubes and get to the fish that they want to get to. So they've done some amazing investigation into their intelligence. When I was visiting Australia a few years ago, I saw rows of tiny octopus for sale at the fish market. And I couldn't imagine having one of those in my salad or any other dish looking up at me before eating it. And now I know how smart they are. I don't think I want it in my diet. So I'm going to change things up just a little bit and get kind of personal with my unlikables. I have been guilty of burying my head in the sand when it comes to the unlikable. Last month at my metaphysical workshop, someone brought up the subject of evil spirits, and it triggered something in me from my past that was a belief that I needed to take out and get a look at. I noticed a resistance from past fears to even bringing that subject into discussion. While I was working with my past beliefs of evil, the devil, and the fear that still, I guess, spoke to me, I found this quote by Robert Beitzer, and I always run across things that help explain to me more of what I'm thinking about. He said, "The bush alongside a mountain trail can startle us if we believe it is a bear. It isn't the mention of evil that scares me. It is the belief that evil is real and that it can affect me. I know better now, and contemplating it and where the belief came from has helped me not to go to fear when the subject comes up." Another thing that's unlikable to me is the news. I don't like to watch the news. I don't like to listen to the news. I cringe every time there's a mass shooting or word of political unrest. But I did go from not watching the news at all to reading the major headlines, so I'm at least somewhat aware of what's going on, or at least what the media is saying is going on. Have a slide here now. Ernest Holmes wisely said, "We limit ourselves all too often by thinking that nature's laws extend only as far as we can see. Always, the laws of nature existed universally. We couldn't say our horizon is the end of space just because it is as far as we can see. There are unlimited horizons. As we begin to move toward our present horizon, we discover that it moves back and keeps moving back as we move forward. What we all need is the courage to keep moving into new horizons." I recently picked up a book that I hadn't finished reading. It's The Freedom from Discord, Reverend Dr. David Alexander. He points out in this book the myths that the New Thought movement must let go of in order to manifest a world that works for everyone, which is our goal. Myth number one is we are not political here. He points out that ministers and congregants nestle into the comfort of a social club rather than a place that challenges and applies their faith to the world around them. That could be an unlikable statement, but think about it. This prideful footing places such spiritual communities on a foundation of quicksand. The silence speaks of complicity with conditions that exist because they go unchallenged. Myth number two is that conditions such as racism, sexism, and other isms are only in the consciousness of the people expressing or experiencing them. Alexander believes that it is important to be liberated from the toxic notion that we are all on an island of our own making, without the impact or influence of both the society at large and the direct community surrounding us. So we might not like what's out there in society, but it does affect us. We alone did not create our reality. We are always co-creators of conditions, never sole creators, not alone. It is so much easier to separate from the ugliness of the world around us and claim that it is all sourced by someone else's misuse of the law. We need to stop pretending that seeing and speaking out about a problem is equal to giving it power or creating it. Although we do create with our thoughts and our words, there is a collective consciousness that we're all responsible for. The collective consciousness of humanity has created the problematic conditions, and we are all affected. Collective effects in government policies and commerce are collective effects of racism, sexism, and other prejudiced beliefs. Some might say we're all in the same boat, but it would be more accurate to say that we're all in the same ocean. Some of us are in large, comfortable cruise ships with weather, radar, onboard hospitals, and gourmet kitchens stocked with food. Others are on small rafts, makeshift dinghies, or small sailing vessels whose sails have been torn and damaged by the winds of injustice. Myth number three is that focusing on the conditions perpetuates or or worse, attracts more of them, sorry. This overly simplistic practice of focusing only on positive things, which I've been guilty of, and the corollary that focusing on so-called negative things will bring them about, is toxic New Thought theology. That's what I was suffering from in relation to the mention of evil and afraid of watching the news. Refusing to embrace the shadow side rarely eliminates it. Instead, doing so just suppresses it. We need to look at the unlikable. Refusing to see something does not mean that it's not there. It only means that you don't want to look at it. So that's pretty tough stuff, and sometimes hard to think about, hard to listen to. I guess it's not a get out of jail free card for me to think that I'm just a little old lady who can't do anything about these problems. I need to be brave and expose myself to the unlikables wherever they are. When they come to me, I need to look at them and examine them. I can't do anything if I'm not aware of the problem. So that is the first important step that I can take to do my part and maintain my freedom. And then I can more intelligently vote, pray, and speak out for justice. And maybe some of those unlikables can change when we understand them and take a stand. I picture a world where I bravely engage with my own unlikables. And now to hear some spiritual wisdom from practitioner Stephanie. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Sue. I like that you brought up the unlikable. All right. And Bill, I love the fact that you introduced us to the octopi, or the many of them that there are. My first idea of the octopus was that it has 3 hearts and 8 brains. And so what is that trying to tell me? And so I'm going to combine all of this into the 2 principles of the Hermetic laws and what you can do for yourself about it. So I'm going to bring up the first slide and read it. So we're going to make it bigger than me. Okay, the Hermetic first and second principles side by side present a doorway into understanding how reality actually functions. One tells you what you're working with, and the other shows you how it echoes through everything. The second reveals that whatever moves within one layer of that field expresses itself across others. Thought ripples into emotion. Emotion ripples into action. And action ripples into circumstance. Circumstance ripples back into thought, and everything reflects and answers everything else. So I'm going to explain these 2 principles, working with them as a single organism. And here are the topics that I will be addressing. There are 5 of them. And so we'll just keep me somewhere in the bottom of that so that you can follow along with those. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the first one, mind is seed. We learned that in the course in the Centers for Spiritual Living, how to plant the seed, and correspondence as the pattern. The first principle says the mind is the architect. The second shows the blueprint repeats itself at every scale. Your mind initiates the conversation, and reality answers in kind. Your inner posture becomes the lens through which events take shape. If the root thought is fear, life mirrors it back through situations that provoke more fear. If the root is clarity, life mirrors clarity. The universe is not punishing or rewarding, it's reflecting. This isn't mystical abstraction. It is a practical system. Your beliefs shape your perception. Your perception shapes your choices. Your choices shape your reality. And reality reinforces the belief that started the whole cycle. So if you break the cycle at the level of mind, and everything downstreams will start to shift. So number 2 is what happens on the inner plane echoes on the other. So what happens on the inner plane, the second principle, explains why tiny internal shifts create noticeable external changes. A slight change in attitude alters your tone, your presence, your awareness of opportunities, and even how others respond. The inner world is not private. It radiates outward. So there are no secrets. A calm mind produces solutions. A balanced heart draws balanced interactions. A focused intention shapes a focused life. Every layer answers every other layer. Every repeated emotion is a spell that you cast without realizing. It becomes a pattern. So number 3 tells us how they work together in real life, in every situation that you're in. This is not abstract. This is how consciousness works. Okay, so when you understand these 2 principles as one current of electricity, so to speak, you begin to live deliberately instead of reactively. If your inner world is chaotic, your outer world will echo confusion. If your inner world is steady, your outer events begin to fall in order. If you want to change the world around you, you begin with the world within you. This isn't about pretending or forcing positivity. It's about becoming the cause rather than the effect. And then number 4 is adjust consciously. Okay? So each morning, you choose one mental stance to carry. This is not an emotion. This is a posture. Like today, I act with clarity, or today I meet things straight on. And then B, you watch its echo. This is the second principle. Pay attention to that single intention reflects into how it reflects into your interactions, your responses, the opportunities you notice, the emotional tone of your body, of your day. You'll see the correspondence unfold with surprising speed once you start noticing. And then C, you adjust consciously. When your eternal state drifts, then reset it. One conscious breath, one reframed thought, one regained posture. The outer world will follow. So then the last one is the deeper insight. Okay, so what we have with that is these principles teach a simple but profound truth. The universe is not separate from you. It's a dialogue with you. Your mind initiates the conversation. Reality answers in kind. When you work with both principles, intentional life becomes a mirror that you can read and a field that you can shape. So here's an invitation for you today. Remember your nature. You are not a passenger. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a conscious point within the infinite mind. and every choice you make ripples outwards. Walk today as someone who knows their awareness has weight. Walk today as someone who understands that mastery isn't found in rituals, but in the quality of the mind you bring to every moment. And so, coming back to the octopus, here's another invitation for you. You have an infinite number of brains and an infinite number of arms to work from. All are within you, working for you. And as in the mind and the mirror called life. So with that, I say, happy Octopus Day and namaste. Thank you. So our affirmation today is, my soul is as deep and vast as the ocean, filled with boundless, unconditional love. Sounds like a stance for me. Okay, now I'm going to close with a closing prayer, but I don't really want to close it except to just invite you to take it within, okay? Knowing that there's only one mind, and that mind is the infinite. It's infinitely intelligent, and it's infinitely loving, and infinitely kind and compassionate. It lives in, through, and within every one of us. We are a mirror. Life is reflecting that mirror back to us. There's no need to judge it. Just recognize it. And as I recognize it, it changes within me because of what changes it. And I honor that. And I share it with each and every one of us here, online, anywhere you are in the world. We are one. We are one organism. We are human. We are God-man. We are learning to awaken that within each and every one of us. And so I release it with joy and gratitude into the law that makes it happen. I need do nothing. It is done for me. And so I release this and I let it go as together we say yes, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
Stu. Thank you, Bill. So you just got to look at a good part of the Center for Spiritual Living, St. George. And we're blessed to have these three people that have chosen this path for their life and to be with us and share it. Not only on once a month on here, but with us every time we get together or whenever we need some prayer. They're there for us. And I'm honored to share my spiritual path with them all and with you folks. So we're going to have some announcements, and we're going to have my turn to talk, I guess. Now, we're doing very well in prosperity attitude, and we're growing. If you're coming to the not only the online service, but the in-person services, you could see it. Everyone, there's more and more people, new people and older people coming back. So we really appreciate anything that you want to share with us financially or helping out or volunteering. So there's many ways you can share financially. You can go on the newsletter or the website, learn how to give through Zelle. You can give online with PayPal. There's a QR code down here in the corner. You can use it, or you could just mail a check if you'd rather. We love to get checks. So we thank you for that in advance. This is our offering affirmation. This is where we recognize what this is doing for us. And I'll read it and you could share it with you. I am overflowing with love and abundance. I give from the source of my being, which is rich and unlimited. With joy and excitement, I share from this overflow. In return, the universe gives back to me in infinite ways, channels, and means. And so it is. Yes, that's great. We have a Zoom conversation coming on at the top of the hour, and if you're here with us on Sunday morning. And so we welcome you to come along. We talk about all kinds of stuff. I tell you, with these octopuses, pie pieces running around, and who knows what we're going to get into in the conversation. So you can get on there by you're going online on the website, and it tells you how to connect to these conversations today at noon. Our next in-person service is the 14th, and here's another one of our famous subjects, the crackly too subtle. Some more information in the newsletter if you'd like to dig into that a little bit. We have upcoming services. We have 3 in December in person on Sunday. We have the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th. And we welcome you to show up. We're meeting more and more. And like I said a minute ago, we're growing fast, folks, and that's really great. We'd love to share it with you. We have a party coming. Holiday celebration is going to be after the service on December 21st at 12. And we always have a great time when we do this stuff. And you're welcome to bring your favorite dish. It's going to be a big potluck. And if you'd like to share it with us, we'd just love for you to be there with us. We use the bottom half of the Masonic Lodge here in St. George. It's a big room, and it's easy to find. So we hope you show up for the service at 10:30 and stay and share with us. The day isn't over yet. That evening, we're going to celebrate the winter solstice event at the Cayente Labyrinth. Information on the newsletter and the address is here. Now, it's going to run from 4 to 6, and we'll participate in a labyrinth walk and have a little drum circle activity afterward. So we welcome you to come out and join us. You want to bring a light, a chair, and a coat, probably. So look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be a really big day on the 21st. So hope to see you. Our practitioners, who you got to know a little more about today, are always available to and love to share prayer with you. If you'd like to do that, you can email the practitioners for prayer at csl.org about, and they'll get a hold of you really soon. So please use that. It helps, I guarantee you. Now, your gifts make a difference, not only financially, but we could use some help. We're growing fast, and there's a lot of things we need to get done. So if you volunteer opportunities as soundboard technician, video technician, greeters, kitchen support, I like that part. And so if you'd like to get involved a little more, just get a hold of Anna when you come in, and she's pretty much coordinates our volunteers. So looking forward to your helping hands. We also have, starting back, the bookstore. We're setting up a little temporary bookstore every Sunday in the back. You're welcome to come. You can see a book you want to borrow or purchase. You're welcome to do that. There's a offering bowl there if you want to help out, or you can bring books if you want to share and leave them there for someone else to celebrate and enjoy too. So that's a good thing that we're starting back up. We also got the woo-woo going on that Sue is facilitating, and it's there's a love offering involved, but it's going to be, I think the third one now is going to be on December 28th after the service from 12:30 to 2. And they discuss all kinds of cool things: near-death experience, past lives, mediumship, clairvoyance. Holy cow, synchronicity. So it's a lot of fun. I've heard that. So come on out and join that after the service on the 28th. December 7th, online, is Surrendering the Newness. Is that like getting old? I don't know. Well, we'll find out on December 7th. Reverend Joe's going to offer a message about that subject. And on December 14th, in person, Reverend Joe is going to talk about, as I mentioned, the crackly too subtle. So there's a lot going on here at Center for Spiritual Living St. George, and we'd welcome you to come join us. Now we're going to get back together and offer our closing affirmation. And I'm going to start it off when we all get here. Let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's everybody. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all that I do.
I am it, I embrace it, and I share it just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is becoming. Thank you, Life.
Life.
Thank you,
Life.
Life.
Thank you all.
Thanks for being here, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you at the services.
See you
Happy
on
Sunday.
Zoom.